What's up, pretty gang? It's your favorite nail tech, Peaches. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be discussing working on larger nail beds. As you can see, this particular client does have a naturally large natural nail area, so I'm going to teach you how to get the best result as far as shaping and application. But first things first, I want to make sure you guys are subscribed, notifications on. I do not have a subscriber for today because honestly, I'm really just redoing this voiceover. Last night I was not in a very good mind frame. I was in the middle of going somewhere, waking up from a nap, and honestly, I wanted to give you guys what y'all deserve, okay? So this set is from quite a few days ago, okay? I almost said quite some time, but that's a lie. It's from a couple days. Ooh, is it? Yeah, no, it's from, I want to say actually it's probably from closer to the beginning of the week, and I was like, okay, let's make this work. What do we want this to be, okay? So first things first, you guys already know, we're going to make sure our tips are sized from side to side, okay? We want a correct size. As you guys can see, the tip fits all the way from sidewall to sidewall. That is the first thing you need to go ahead and make sure that you are doing correctly when it comes to having a successful looking set and a long lasting set for those who have larger nail beds. You guys already know that this primer is Young Nails Protein Bond, liquid is Young Nails, and this acrylic is my custom made like nude pink that I have on hand at all times, okay? So a lot of people don't understand, right? When you're doing nails that are of a larger size, like I also have larger nail beds as well, okay? So I completely understand what it's like it's very easy to get bulky looking nails, okay? So the first thing you need to understand is that the goal is not to minimize the appearance of the nail bed, because that's something that you simply cannot do. So a lot of times you will have clients coming in like, oh, I want a tapered square, or I want skinny square, or I want skinny coffin. They're gonna use words like skinny, tapered, thin, but you do have to, honestly, I'm at the point to where like I kind of don't even listen to what they say like in that regard, because it doesn't faze me, and because everybody who comes to me, they come for my square, so like they're gonna like it regardless. But every so often I do still have those clients like, oh, what the hell? Hold on, y'all. All right, so what I was saying is, every so often I do have those clients that are like, can you make them like more tapered? Can you make them this? And I have to explain to them, especially, and it's always people with like larger nail beds, okay? You always have to explain to them like, hey babe, I understand the look that you're going for is a narrow look. However, the only other option that I can give you is to go for coffin, okay? But that needs to be established with the tips, because otherwise, like the tips is the, what is that called? The tips is the base, right? So when people ask, oh, I want to change shapes after the acrylic is laid, to be honest, no, we're not changing shapes, because it's not going to really be any other shape than what it is, because this is what I have shaped it to, your actual finger and your actual nail. You know what I'm saying? So the best way to go about it to give them the best shape you can is to go ahead and take your time shaping those tips. You want them to still cover sidewall to sidewall. If you notice that there's any like little nicks in the side, or that, one side of the tip is kind of thinning out to where you can see the natural nail, you're over filing. Like I said, I understand you want to have a skinnier appearance, and it seems to be nowadays people don't actually really show clients with nail beds this large. Like for example, her pinky is a 5. That's one step away from some people's like ring fingers, okay? Just to give you guys an idea. So that's first things first. We want to establish the boundaries, and we want to have realistic expectations for our client, okay? The second thing is, especially with short nails, application is going to be the basis of which we get our success, okay? So basically, you guys can see that I'm taking my time and I'm making sure this nail is not bulky at all. All right, especially because it is short. So what you guys see me do is I'm laying down one initial bead that is going to give us our strength, okay? So that first bead that I laid down, and I'm going to show you again, of course, I'm going to show this whole hand, but our first bead is going to be the strength, and it's going to establish us keeping that shape to the tip. The biggest mistake I see with people trying to do nails on people, with larger nail beds is that it gets too bulky. They use too much acrylic. So look, you can see I'm getting a bead that would be appropriate for the size of the nail, and I'm putting it on smack in the middle, and I'm gonna go ahead and blend the top because we want it to be thin. If this top is bulky, you're already screwed right here and there. So the top, we're keeping it thin, and we're already smoothing it up So that way there's no lumps or bumps. And then the bottom, we are just slightly dragging it down. Now this is a short nail, so we don't need a lot of acrylic, but you can see that it is enough that it's going to have enough strength. So we're keeping to the shape. We're patting and pressing the sides so that we can keep this shape. Now, like I said, you do not want it to bulk out. So please be careful the way you are patting and moving your acrylic, because what we don't want is to have all the acrylic like flared out to the sides and none in the middle, because that will like disrupt our shape. I mean, not our shape. That will disrupt our strength and the integrity of the nail. But then you don't also want all the acrylic in the middle and none on the sides, because when you go to file, it's just going to file away the tip. So then for the cuticle area, notice how small of a bead that I use, right? Like this is enough to go ahead and coat the cuticle area, and I'm going to let it go ahead and sink where it needs to go, and I'm going to direct the acrylic. But look how thin that I keep it on the sides, right? I'm using just enough acrylic on the sides to cover sidewall to sidewall, but most of the strength you need is in the middle of the nail. Okay, and that way when I go to file later on, there's no bulkiness. I'll be able to file with ease, and the actual hand file, right, that we're going to use to shape is going to be able to get up in there with no problems. Okay, I think it's really important to go ahead and show that there's so many different types of nail beds and shapes and sizes that it's kind of unfair that people only show like dainty looking nails, because from my perspective, that's not always the norm. Okay, there's just as many girls that have nail beds of this size as there are with people like, I guess you consider average or small. Okay, and I really don't like necessarily saying average, because I've seen so many different types of nails that everything is normal. Like if you think your fingers are crooked, if you think your nails points this way, everything is normal. It doesn't even matter. Like, no, you're not different. You're not special. I'm sorry to tell you, you're not the only one. Okay, so once again, we are going to take that bead, make sure you have it to the appropriate liquid to powder ratio. I do have video on my channel of what that looks like the liquid to powder ratio that I prefer, that I use here on my channel. And then, like I said, the top, we're going to kind of flatten that out, smooth it out, and you can see it's already kind of in the cuticle area, and that is because I'm using this whole bead for strength. Normally, if the nail was longer, you would see me only use this bead for the where the natural nail and the tip meet. So yeah, we're gonna keep it together. We don't want beads that are too runny or too stiff, because too runny, it's not enough strength and you're gonna like be wasting a lot of time, and too stiff is going to bulk the nail up very quickly. All right. So I want you guys to really work on basically not judging a book by its cover, because you may see someone's nail beds and be like, oh, I already know what size those are. And that's good, but sometimes looks can be deceiving. So although off tops, you might look at someone and like, oh, these look dainty, these look small, right? Just because they're short in length, because you can have a short nail bed but wide and still end up with nails that look like this. So they might look short. They might look small and dainty, but technically, because of the wideness, the nails will look just like this. So I suggest when you're sizing people, all you need to worry about is this tip covering from sidewall to sidewall, and then go based off of that. Okay. And then, like I said, manage the client's expectations, because to be honest, there's no way that this client would be able to tell me, hey, I want skinny square. Because I would have to tell her, unfortunately, girl, there is no skinny square for you. If I taper the ends, what's going to happen is now you have a lopsided looking coffin, and your base, your natural nail is still wide. So that doesn't change. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I say tapered square, not real. All that is not real, because that's based off of the tips people use that are already pre-shaped. And usually people are using coffin tips that they're just cutting the tip off, or they're using just a thinner looking tip in general. But I do find that those pre-shaped type tips, they seem to have wells. If you don't know what a well is, that's where you put the glue. They seem to have wells that are on the smaller side, and I don't think it's the most flattering for all types of nail beds. And by that I mean, I have a lot of clients that they complain like, oh, I've had straight tips and my tips always point upwards. You know what I'm saying? Or, oh, they look like a ski slope, or, oh, they pop off. Those ones are not necessarily universal, especially if you do not size your clients correctly. I see a lot of work that that has come to me for soak offs, and the tips are incorrectly sized, and that causes y'all, I can't speak. That causes trauma. Excuse me, because when the tips are either too small or too big, basically it's either squeezing the nail, which is going to force the tips to pop off, which of course lifting and popping can cause harm to the natural nail. And if they're too big, then moisture is going to get underneath those little pockets that are not taken care of, and it can cause the same result. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You want to be sizing things properly no matter what. You do not need to be concerned on, oh, is this client's nails bigger than, you know, oh, this is how it looks on my page, or oh, this and the other. You know, at the end of the day, you can post whatever you want, but just know this is normal. Okay, what the hell? Stuff just falling off. You know, this is normal. Okay, I don't want you to be alarmed. You guys already know this is why I really encourage and promote people to go to school and get educated, because there's a lot of things you see and you learn. It's not all about, you know, looking aesthetic and being the best straight out of school. It's the information and the nail health and the parts of the nail and the sanitation. All of those things are incredibly important to know. It's the critical thinking skills you get. It's having someone in your ear to guide you so you're not so nervous, and when you get into the real world, you're not just going to turn everybody down because it doesn't look like what you want it to look. Okay, I'm noticing a lot of techs are doing that, and a lot of clients are feeling played. Like it's not right to pick and choose who you want to do and who you want to give the good result and the bad result. Like, you guys, we kind of have to get it together. And I say we because I'm just saying nail techs in general. It's not fair to clients, and it's really hindering people's confidences. They already were having trouble in the shops, and now there's a lot of independent techs out here, like they themselves are turning into chop shops, or they are, because they're treating clients with the same type of attitudes and poor quality that is in the chop shops that people are trying to get away from. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right. So another thing you want to avoid is making the apex too thick or too large. I'm going ahead and using smaller beads to make sure I tuck these cuticles and give the apex like a rounded appearance. As you can see, I'm checking to make sure that it's not super duper thick, but a really, really thick or large apex, that's something I used to struggle with before I figured out like what is the correct thickness and smoothness that I like in my nails. But that is just going to further add to the appearance of a larger natural nail bed. Okay, so as far as application, what did we learn here? We learned we want to keep to the shape as best as we can. We want to manage our clients' expectations as far as when we shape the tip, and overall we want to maintain a sleek looking nail so that we do not add additional bulk, because that is going to, number one, provide a really weird look, and number two, it's going to make your filing process awful. And I'll tell you what, when you have larger nail beds, right, you already have to add a little more acrylic than what you normally would use, just for safety and support reasons, because the larger the nail, the more acrylic you need. That's just, 1 + 1 makes 2. But if you go overboard with it, your filing and shaping process is going to be ass. I'm letting you know right now. I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced that, because everyone goes through that, but it's going to be like trying to file through concrete. And for those of you who like to use polygel and builder gel and all that, I understand people say like, oh, that's much easier because, it's harder to file through acrylic. Using acrylic is only hard when you suck at it. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I think that's why a lot of people switch, not to be rude or anything like that, but just keep in mind, yeah, they're right. Acrylic is way harder than polygel and builder gel. Like, that's way softer. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like I said, that's why people switch over, but don't be scared. Don't be nervous. This is why I'm here. If you're not that good at acrylic, all you gotta do is practice. I would encourage you, don't give up, because I feel like it's way more versatile than the other options, and honestly, it's way more popular and common. So, so there's the application. So we already went ahead and filed the cuticles. Okay, we did our finished filing, if you will, and you can see that we kept the shape pretty nicely, and you can see that the nails are of a nice thickness for the length and the I guess what her nail beds are. Okay, so when we're gonna go ahead and finish file, the most important thing is keeping that edge nice and crispy and sharp, because it's nothing worse than having someone feel like, okay, so not only do my nails look all thick and bulky, or I'm already feeling like my fingers is looking a certain way, but now the tips ain't sharp, you know. So we really want to focus on that. And secondly, debulking. So already these nails are not very bulky at all, but see how I'm going way up into the sidewalls and near the cuticle area? That is a form of debulking as well. I'm debulking the sides as I am shaping, because I want to maintain as nice and sleek of a shape as I can for this client. If I were to go ahead and try and quote unquote taper this in, you will be able to see that it's gonna look like a half-ass coffin. Okay, so you can see how the the nail fits perfectly between, you know, sidewall to sidewall, like we always say, fits perfectly between there. You can see the meat on both sides of her nails. Okay, that's a clue for you. Okay, if the nail does not sit directly in the middle of both sides of her, like the meat on her fingers, the nail is too thick. Okay, so I'm looking from all directions because I want to make sure, like, okay, I want to debulk, and so I'm running the file on the sides as well. You see, because I want to make sure the sides are not sticking out, and that is usually a problem area. So these areas right here, and let's see, you know, up at the top near the cuticle area, those are the problem areas you really want to focus on. Okay, another thing you want to do is, like I said, really get up in there. Like I said, that's the problem area up in here. A lot of people have wide nails. Up in that area way up top, that's where it's wide. You want to keep that down. Okay, so another thing you want to do is make sure you can see a straight line of sight. If you're doing square, it needs to be a straight up and down vertical line and a straight side to side horizontal at the tip to make that 90-degree angle. It does not matter how thick or wide somebody's natural nails are, you still want to maintain the shape that they're asking for. Okay, and so as you can see how I'm filing and debulking, like I said, you can kind of see it would not be flattering if I went ahead and just tapered her nails just to do it. Okay, and a lot of times that's what we're seeing nowadays, and apparently that's what's making people feel comfortable. But we got to get out of that habit, because it's causing too much confusion from nail tech to nail tech, because everyone's using different words. And I know I've said this a million thousand times, but it's absolutely true. I've had to explain to clients, like, imagine if I did this right now, do you really think this would look appealing? And a lot of times they're like, you know what, no, you're right. Or I'll show them examples of you know, just different things online, and people are kind of like, once you put it in perspective, people are like, you know what, you're right, that don't make sense. So you kind of have to tell them, like, remember, you told me the last time you went to somebody, X, Y, and Z happened, and I'm telling you X, Y, and Z happened because they didn't do ABC, or because they did do ABC. So educate your clients the whole way through, especially those that have larger nails, because I promise you, a lot of them will ask, especially like when you're new, or if they've never been to you before, or if they're not sure about your page yet, they will ask, oh, can you make my nails thinner? Oh, like thin as far as like shape, as far as thin, as well as product. Oh, can you make my nails thinner? Oh, can you do this? Can you do that? And a lot of it is just practice, but you have to be willing to do the work. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there, they might not be willing to do the work, or because it just doesn't look aesthetically pleasing to some, and that's just not fair. Okay, so this is why I'm here to help all the time and anytime. Right? You know, we're getting near to the end of the video, and we're just pretty much going to shape the whole entire way. I do have multiple things recorded for you guys, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. The other day, you know, these past couple of days, I've just been having definitely a little bit of a difficult time. I'm in a headspace. I definitely want to continue to grow my channel and grow my page. I'm in a headspace where, you know, as far as being a nail tech, I don't feel like I am the most appreciated, you know, because a lot of times I'm still people's second choice. A lot of people will tell me, you know, they've been following me for 6 months to a year, and oh, I don't know why I didn't book with you. Oh, I've been following you all this time. Your work is so nice, but yeah, I still went to the shops, or yeah, I went to this girl, or, you know, people will come to me when they've just had such ass experiences that they're tired of. But you know what I will say? I will say, like, when I come here on YouTube, I know there's so many other YouTubers you guys could be watching, but when you guys leave me comments and questions and just different things, y'all don't ever make me feel like I'm somebody's second best. And so I definitely appreciate that from you guys. I appreciate how quickly you guys have helped me grow my channel. I've been taking my channel seriously for the past year as of November 2021, and we're nearing November 2022, and you know, we're over 3,000, close to 3,500 subscribers now, and y'all have no idea how much it means to me that you guys take the education that I'm giving and the things that I'm saying seriously, and that it means something. You know, a lot of times I've tried to offer things on Instagram to people who, you know, swear up and down they want my information and want to know, and a lot of times it's just rejected. So it's so great that you guys have welcomed me with open arms, and that you guys absolutely love my content. I get so many messages like on a daily basis, and I post them to Instagram. I encourage you guys, if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. You guys already know, Nailsbyprettyface. I post every single day. Do not be afraid to send me a DM or anything like that. I get tons of them from you guys sometimes, so super duper impressed that you guys are impressed by me, and I appreciate you guys. So I just want to throw that out there, because I've been in a strange, like, my mental state lately has been kind of strange. It's been like an in-between. I think I'm in a period of coming into some growth that I don't know that I don't know what it is yet. You see what I'm saying? So I've just been thinking extra hard about everything, and as you guys know, I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by like New Year's Day, so I guess midnight of New Year's Eve, if you want to say whatever. And I feel like we could do it. Like, we're about only 1,500 away, and you know what I'm saying? It's almost that time of year where I'll be posting every single day as best as I can. I'm really gonna stick to it, because last year I hustled hard. I stick to it for the most part. So we're about to be on that hype again, November and December, back posting every single day. Got some nice content coming for you guys. Like I said, I appreciate you guys, and I really wanted to just really genuinely wanted you guys to know that. So anyways, enough with the sob story, the little sappy story. We're making sure everything is nice and even, because that's another thing, right? When you got larger nails, you're gonna notice when something is fucked up, something's wrong. Make sure they're nice and even. Double, triple check. I don't care if you got magic scissors, the magic magnets people swear by, you know, cutting the tip length and, oh, it's perfect. No, it ain't. Because somewhere along the line, whether you're doing application and accidentally extend something too long, or filing and shaping, it ain't always going to be perfect. So, you know what I'm saying? Always double, triple check your work. And that is going to be one of the best tips I have for you in life, period, no matter what it is that you're doing. So I'm going in and making sure I'm putting all the final touches. And once again, you know, we're doing a last once over the nail. And, you know, with the C-curve, these aren't C-curve tips per se. But I like, you know, with the application, it kind of naturally makes its own C-curve. So I enhance it, you know, because I like it. And, you know, I'd buff. We're going to do the designs. This was like a little freestyle that I had did or whatever, little deal that I had did. And with that, we've come to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoy your night, and I'll see you guys in the next one.